everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about outlining, whether it's a good idea to outline or not outline before you start writing your story. I know some people, this is a very stressful part. So if this is you, if this stresses you out, please hit like and subscribe. If this is something that doesn't stress you out, please hit like and subscribe. Anyway, I am the type of person that has to do a little bit of outlining when I am writing. Usually I start out with, my bookends of this is where I want to start and this is where I want to end, and then fill it in as we go. I am a very list-oriented person. I like making lists. I like crossing things off of lists. It's very satisfying. So if that's the type of outlining you like to do, just making a list, a general list of what you want to accomplish, congratulations, you have your outline. With this particular story, I've had to do a little more fleshing out of my general checklist outline because it wasn't exactly working out. I knew where I wanted my start. I knew where I wanted my end game to be. My start was kind of like, out there. My middle was pretty solid. And that's not usually how I go about with the writing, but just like children, no two stories are the same. One story I wrote, I had a whole soundtrack backed up to, for each section. And I wrote my outline that way, and it worked, and it was great. This doesn't have a soundtrack. This child is completely different, but I love her just the same. So I'm going to go over a couple of different types of outlining and then show you the one that I personally went with for this one. Now, there's some writers out there that are what's called in the NaNoWriMo world pantsers. They fly by the seat of their pants. They just basically throw down whatever is in their head, and then they sort out the details later. I am not one of those people. I've tried it. I hated it. It was not a good time. So I have to have some kind of map when I am writing. And sometimes literally with my students, my second graders, I have them actually make a map of their setting, and X marks the spots for the different places. And that's really cool and all. Novels tend to be a little bit longer. Now, some people like to storyboard. And when I think storyboard, I always think of like the Disney studios or other animation studios that, have like basically the whole movie in comic strip form going across the walls. I don't have that kind of wall space. No, not in my classroom, not in my house. But you can make it as simple as like a bunch of Post-it notes or sticky notes, writing down what you want to have happen. My problem is I'm afraid I'm going to end up looking like Matthew Broderick in Election with all the string theories out all over the place, or some kind of crime drama. And I have a certain little kitty cat who likes to play with strings and yarn, and that probably would be a bad idea. So if I ever try it, I will have to record his reactions because I'm sure it would be hilarious. So what are other options you can do? Well, there is one called the snowflake. And it's based off of the design of a snowflake. I will try and put a little image up here for you guys. But basically, in the mathematical sense of snowflakes, the fractals, you start off with a basic triangle, and then you make like the Star of David and invert it, and then you start building your points around it. What the snowflake method would be is taking a one-sentence summary of your story, that's your basic triangle, and then gradually start adding more and more and more until you basically build out the whole story from that one sentence. I've never tried that before. It does interest me, but since I've already have part of the story written, that's probably not going to be the best way for me. I had tried doing a list, basically like a grocery list of what I wanted to do with the story. And that did fine for me to a point, and then as I started building in the details, it just got more messy. So I decided to go a different route here, and I'm going to share that here with you so you're not just looking at my lovely face. Okay, so there are many different types of outlines and lots of websites that will tell you on how to best make your outline most effectively. I will put links in the description below. One type of outline is the classic story outline, where you have your exposition, your inciting event, your rising action, your climax, your falling action, and resolution or denouement. Most of the stuff that we learned in middle school and elementary school about how to write a story. Um, Only problem with this is that if you look at how the proportions are set up, you're spending 1/3 in the exposition, 1/3 where the action is. About halfway through your story, you're having your most exciting event, and then it's all downhill from there. That doesn't make for a very interesting story. But if it's your very first time out, that's a good place to start. Another type of outlining is the modified storyline, where you have your exposition and your inciting event, and then you have a series of ups and downs as far as how the action goes, and then you reach the climax, and then it's a sharp downturn into the resolution. That's the way a lot of stories go. And I could spend all day talking about Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey, but that's an entirely another video, and we don't have that kind of time for that. So I will probably dedicate another video just about the hero's journey if that's something you would like to see. Uh, Another type, and this was in my research, this is what I found, and I was just like, "Whoo, that's a little intense," but it does make sense. The 27 chapter outline, or in the three act outline. And I will put a link to where I got this image from in the description as well. There's a lot in this. And when I first looked at it, I have to admit, I was a little overwhelmed. But when you think about it, I do this type of stuff anyway. I just don't list it out like this, where you have your inciting incident, immediate reaction, actions, consequences, pressure, pinch, push into the new world, and the fun and games and shenanigans, and reversals and reactions. I don't get quite that analytical when I make my lists. And I don't know if all of this would apply to my story Nibble Nibble. So I decided to do a combination of things, and you're going to find what works best for you. I did electronic storyboards / 3 acts / Joseph Campbell, a little bit of all the things. But in the end, it's whatever is going to work for you. So give me a minute. 3 hours later. Here we have it. Now, I color coded this because, yeah, I'm that type of person. The first act is going to be in greens, and the rest of it, and anything that I haven't completely written yet is going to be with a white background. So I've got my intro where the character is incomplete. This is the character-driven story arc. Inciting actions, the challenging outside force, the immediate reaction. Again, this is something that I've already written. The queen, Bathilda, the hypochondriacal abusive woman, comes in. The pressure, being encouraged into a decision, and the push, committed to the bridge burning. She gets put into prison. She has to escape from prison. Whoopsies. And then into the new world. This is kind of where I'm at right now. She's adapting to her isolated life in the forest. And this is where a lot of research will go into this part. And that again is going to be for another video, how to do your research, how to credit your research. And then we go on to refusing to address their internal flaws, reversals, confronting the flaw and ignoring it, then the dedication, the rebirth into Act 3 with the trials and complications that ruin everything, and the climax, and the resolution, which I won't show you so that you don't get spoilers. Okay, so that was a lot of work and a lot of just researching the different types of outlines. I also have to give credit to Reedsy, their blogs and their videos. They're another really good basic place to start if you're looking to either start up your writing craft or to get ideas on how to refine your writing craft, especially if you're doing NaNoWriMo. Again, descriptions will be below. So all in all, I had like 13 slides for my story map, and I found out that I have only written 5 of those of those scene panels in my story so far. The good thing is I know where I need to add in. The bad news is, oh my gosh, what a long way I have to go. Whoa. But you know what? As overwhelming as it seems, I now feel a little bit better because now I have a more tangible, for lack of a better word, means of going through and checking off, okay, did I cover this? Did I cover this? This is where I want my story to go. Part of why it took so long to put together was in the midst of all my writing, my views on the character changed and I had to revamp how I wanted to have this character end up. And that's okay. Just because you outline it does not necessarily make it the end all be all. You can change things because why? Because you are the creator, you are the writer, you are the world builder, you are the dreamer of the dreams. And if you find that there's a legit reason to change your story or to change an aspect of your story, then do it. Save yourself some hassle later. So yeah, that's where I got started with my outlining for this particular story. Next time I will be working on the research and things that I use to help me with the research, and hopefully it will help you as well. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.